Want a leg up on your coworkers, friends, and family in your March Madness bracket? What about learning the secrets that the smartest players use to get ahead, even if they haven't watched a minute of college basketball? I'm Jason Lisk with PoolGenius, and today I'm going to show you 4 proven strategies to help you win your March Madness bracket pool. Here's our 4 keys. You have to know your scoring system, know the difference between risk and value, play to your pool size, and avoid the golden rules. Bracket pool rules vary. Your odds to win depend on your ability to understand and game the system. If you don't understand how your pool awards points, you can waste hours agonizing over decisions that don't even matter. The classic example is picking first-round upsets. People love to talk about which first-round upsets they're going to take. Going wild picking them rarely makes sense, especially in the traditional scoring system used on sites like ESPN. First-round games are only worth a point there. Now let's flip the script. If your bracket pool awards bonuses for picking upsets, you can forget everything I just said. In these pools, picking a lot of early-round upsets can make perfect sense. Even if you get most of them wrong, getting just a few of them right can be the difference maker in winning your pool. Let's move on to tip number 2. It's important to understand both risk and value. Risk refers to the chance that a pick you make does not work out. It's rare for even the best team to have more than a 1 in 3 chance of winning the tournament. So even if you pick the biggest favorite, you should expect to get it wrong. You should expect to get lots of picks wrong. That's why it's important to assess relative risk and not just absolute risk. You need to determine how likely a team is to reach a certain point of the bracket compared to the safest pick you could make. Here's an example from the South in 2022. These are the pre-tournament chances that these teams will advance to the Final Four. The number 1 seed, Arizona, was more likely to miss the Final Four than make it, but you have to pick a specific team to reach the Final Four. Arizona was almost twice as likely to get there as Villanova or Tennessee. By the time you get to Illinois, you're 4 to 5 times more likely to miss the points if you pick them instead of Arizona. This difference is the relative risk. There's a 32% chance that others in your pool will get those points and you won't. You have to get a big reward payoff to take on relative risk. Let's talk about value. Value measures the reward you'll get if your pick works out. Understanding a pick's upside is important because of one thing. You can only win a bracket pool by scoring points that the rest of your opponents miss. This means how you opponents pick their brackets plays a big role in the picks you should make. So before you even start to think about picking a certain team, you need to project how many of your opponents are likely to make the same pick. Crafting a great bracket means you can't look at risk and value on its own. You need to find the right balance. Let's look at this example from the 2021 NCAA tournament. This Final Four is made up of teams being underpicked compared to their chances to get this far. This is a wild Final Four. No number 1 seeds and only 1 team higher than a 4. You'd be getting a ton of value with these Final Four picks, but the relative risk you're running is too high for the vast majority of bracket pools. Your chances of getting this Final Four right is only about 1 in 10,000. Way too risky for all but the largest pools. Time to move to tip number 3, pool size. The size of your pool is one of the biggest factors in how you balance risk and value. If you're playing in a small pool and only need to beat 20 other entries, you need to focus more on risk. If you're playing against 500 other entries, that means you should win roughly once every 500 years. By focusing on value picks and taking on more risk than others, you can increase your odds to win a very large pool. I'll make this example personal. I play in one bracket pool with 15 total entries each year. Here are the betting market odds for some of the top 2022 contenders. Let's say I thought nobody else was going to pick Purdue, Tennessee, or UCLA as their champ. Teams like those with a 4 to 5% chance of winning it all are usually too risky for smaller pools. Why? Assuming everyone in the pool is equally skilled, my chances of winning are 1 in 15. I'll probably need to get my champ pick right to win the pool since it's worth more points. So if I pick a team with only a 4% chance of winning it all, like UCLA, I've most likely lowered my chances of winning right off the bat. As painful as it may be to people who love to build sexy upset-laden brackets, small pools often call for boring champion picks. Now let's imagine I'm playing a 1,000 entry bracket contest and roughly 2% of the pool is picking UCLA. In this pool, UCLA could be a great pick and help boost your odds to win a gigantic payoff. They have a 1 in 25 chance to win it all. So if you play in a huge pool like this for 15, 20 years, there's a good chance it'll happen at least once. And when it does happen, you'll be competing in a mini pool with others that pick this dark horse champion correctly. That's roughly 20 other entries. By focusing on value in a very large pool, you give yourself a chance to take down a huge prize. Most of the time, that boom-bust strategy won't work out, but it's still the best long-term play. Tip number 4, avoid the golden rules. Terrible bracket picking advice comes out every March. It's impossible to avoid. You'll hear it at the bars, you'll see it on social media, you'll hear it everywhere. Here are some common examples. Always pick a 12 seed over a 5 seed in the first round. Never pick a Final Four with all number 1 and 2 seeds. Coach X is a tournament coach. Don't pick against him. The last ex NCAA champions all ranked in the top 5 in this one random stat. Upsets happen. 12 seeds do win. Your best chance of hitting the jackpot is not by looking at what has happened, and instead looking at what will probably happen. So go ahead and pick those 1 and 2 seeds, and it's okay to whiff on maybe one Cinderella run. Every tournament is different. Some years the committee misses and there's some great teams with bad seeds, and other years it's the opposite. And these golden rules don't take into account things like pool size and your scoring rules. If you're not getting a bunch of points for upset bonuses, then why pick a bunch of them? The bottom line is most people don't understand what winning brackets often look like. As a specific example, I looked at the top 10 finishers in a 300 entry pool in 2022. That's the year that number 8 North Carolina went on a Cinderella run to the final. So how many of those top 10 entries do you think had North Carolina in the final? 0. The Final 4? 0. The Elite 8? 0. Only 2 of them even had North Carolina advancing to the Sweet 16. Lower seeded teams like North Carolina often make Cinderella runs to the Final 4 and beyond. But real pool results like this one prove you don't have to make a crazy bold call and get it right in order to win a prize. Sometimes that's way riskier than just focusing on favorites and expecting to get a few wrong. So what in the world is PoolGenius, and why should you trust this advice? At PoolGenius, we help people win more sports pools, and we've been doing it for over 15 years. Not just for March Madness, but for other sports, like football too. Our subscribers win pools more than 3 times as often as expected. Since 2017, they've reported winning more than $7 million in prizes. You don't have to know anything about sports or math to use PoolGenius. Just tell us a few details about your pool, like the size and scoring system, click a button, and boom, you've got expert brackets to give you the best chance to win. No more stressing over your picks. No more wasting time doing hours and hours of research. We've even got tools for other types of March Madness pools, like NCAA Survivor and Calcutta Auctions. We also have recommended betting picks for the NCAA tournament. Check out PoolGenius.com to see everything we have to offer. And if you're ready to get a leg up on your opponents, there's a special discount link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and may your March be filled with only the best type of madness.